Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, I want to talk about how LeBron James never imitated champions, right? He never imitated the things that champions did, what made them great. I told you guys in the past, to me, LeBron James, when he claims to have, been a fan of Michael Jordan when he was a kid and, I idolized Michael Jordan, I looked up to Michael Jordan, I wanted to be like Michael Jordan, he doesn't really seem to understand what made Michael Jordan who he really was, right? What made Michael Jordan great? He doesn't really seem to get that, and I do not think that LeBron James ever imitated the other greats, what they did, what made them great. He did not imitate greats. He decided to do what he wanted to do his own thing. And that's part of the problem for LeBron James. He did not imitate greatness, right? He did not try to follow in the footsteps of the other legends before him. They gave him the blueprint, and LeBron James didn't follow it. We're going to talk about in this video. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man. Yo, shout out to all you guys that came through the Sunday Live yesterday, man. Thank you very much to all you guys that continue to support the channels, man. Shout out to the Lonely One, BTG, the Don, man. Shout out to CP. Shout out to everyone that comes through, man, that donated. Shout out to Franchise Sports who came through yesterday. Uncut Hoops always coming through. Shout out to Sports T. Thank you very much. Everyone out there who supports our channel, man. I really, truly am humble, guys. And like I said, I always try to, interact and get back with you guys, man. So much respect to everyone who sends me emails, messages. Like I said, you donate to my channel. Thank you, guys. And you guys know what to do, man. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I wanted to talk briefly about LeBron James and, how LeBron James never really imitated champions. Oftentimes, they'll tell you that, you should, imitate or you should mimic, or you should try to, see or follow what other great people do, right? You study what they did in their careers, not to be exactly like them, a carbon copy, so to speak, and do everything the way that they did it. But you take some of the things that the other great people did. Like I said, whatever field it is, it doesn't matter what field it is. Maybe you're in a business field. So you study other great businessmen and what made them successful. Not to do exactly what they did, but to understand how they did things and why they did the things the way that they did them, so that maybe you can imitate, you can take some of that for your own. And that's what sports is. That's what basketball is. That's why we always talk about passing the torch, pushing the game forward. That's how you push the game forward. By taking little bits and pieces from the other previous eras, the other all-time greats, right? The inspiration from what they did, right? You see what they did, and you get inspired from it. They give you a vision, but you also add your own to it. You add a little bit of your own creativity, a little bit of your own style, right? And that's how you make it yours, but you borrowed from little bits and pieces, right? That's called pushing the game forward. That's why the greats push the game forward, because they borrow from other greats and other greats borrow from them. And you make it your own. That's why when I tell you guys, there's no Michael Jordan without Dr. J, and there's no Dr. J without Elgin Baylor, right? There's a succession, there's a lineage there, right? There's a pedigree. These guys are inspiring the next generation of players. So if you see that inside of you, you were inspired by that. Excuse me, guys. I told you, Dr. J, I remember listening to him speak in an interview, and he was talking about how when he was a child, he would often go outside and try to imitate the things that Elgin Baylor was doing on the basketball court. Once again, there goes that word imitate then. When we think about Kobe Bryant, what do we think when we think about Kobe Bryant? You immediately think about Michael Jordan. You think Michael Jordan. When you think Kobe Bryant, you think Michael Jordan because of the way that Kobe Bryant went about his business, the way that he competed, right? In his overall game, he imitated a lot of what Michael Jordan did. But it wasn't just Kobe Bryant imitating Michael Jordan's game that made him great. It was Kobe Bryant imitating and taking little bits and pieces from the competitiveness of Michael Jordan, the work ethic of a Michael Jordan, which Kobe Bryant took pieces of that and made it his own work ethic, his own style. He put a little bit of extra, on certain things. He added his own style and flair to certain things. So when we watch Kobe Bryant, we can see Michael Jordan in his game. We can hear Michael Jordan when he speaks, right? You can see Michael Jordan with the way that he dresses coming into the games. You see what he brought. He imitated certain things from Michael Jordan, but he did not copy 100% Michael Jordan. He was still a little bit of his own added into that. But Kobe Bryant's competitiveness, the Mamba mentality, his work ethic, that's something that he developed, right? That he was born with, that he worked on over the years, that he never stopped. He didn't rest on his laurels because he knew that Michael Jordan didn't do these things. So these are the kinds of things that a Kobe Bryant would imitate from a Michael Jordan. You're imitating the greatness of Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan was able to attain, such great heights in his NBA career and just do all these crazy things, playing the game that he played, going about his business the way that he went about it, Kobe Bryant understood this. He's chasing greatness. So that's what he wanted to do. So the only way that he could surpass Michael Jordan was to be greater than Michael Jordan, not to score more points than Michael Jordan or get more rebounds or assists. It had nothing to do with the stats, the numbers. They have nothing to do with Michael Jordan's greatness. Kobe Bryant understood this. That's why he did not chase numbers or chase stats. He chased wins. He chased championships. So if that's your goal, to surpass Michael Jordan's greatness, then once again, you're imitating greatness. You're not imitating just his game, right? It's the overall things that made Michael Jordan who he was, that Kobe Bryant understood. LeBron James doesn't understand it. He doesn't seem to understand what made Michael Jordan great. So LeBron James is out there chasing the stats, thinking that's going to help him surpass Michael Jordan one day, when we all know it's not. To me, LeBron James is actually getting further and further away from Michael Jordan the longer he continues to play like this. Chasing stats, load managing, flopping all over the place, walking off the court early, right? Always needing trades, more and more trades. Every single year, you need more help. You need this. I mean, look at this year. He's playing with the number 2 rated player in the NBA. The number 2 rated player. Can you guys ever name a time in Michael Jordan's career where he was playing with the second best player in the league? That's never happened, man. Never happened. Scottie Pippen, as much as they try to pump Scottie Pippen up now, once again, rewrite history and bend reality, Scottie Pippen was never that dude. I told you guys, to me, Scottie Pippen was in the top 10 guy of the 90s. He wasn't up there with the Patrick Ewings or the David Robinsons, the Hakeem Olajuwons, the Clyde Drexlers, Karl Malone, Charles Barkleys, the John Stocktons, the Reggie Millers. To me, Scottie Pippen was under those guys. He was still great, but he wasn't one of the top 5, 10 players in the league. Luka Doncic is clearly a top 3, top 5 player in the NBA. The ESPN had him ranked number 2 coming into this season. That's who LeBron James has as a teammate this year. He also had, prior to that, the best 2-way player in the NBA last season, Anthony Davis, the only player in the NBA to make an all-NBA team and an all-defensive team last year, basically signifying that he was the best 2-way player in the NBA last season. So that's who LeBron James had on his team last year, right? To me, Michael Jordan never had the best 2-way player in the NBA on his team because Michael Jordan was the best 2-way player oftentimes during the 90s. You could argue guys like David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon as the greatest 2-way players during the 90s. But there were many years when Michael Jordan was the best 2-way player in the NBA. That was never Scottie Pippen, guys. That was never any of the body that Michael Jordan played with. This is who LeBron James has had on his team. So when we think about him chasing the stats and playing the game the way that he's been playing since he's been in LA, no one's impressed with this stuff, and he's been exposed. You're not imitating greatness. You're not imitating someone like a Michael Jordan. You're not imitating someone like a Larry Bird or a Bill Russell. Are you imitating what those guys did day in and day out, season after season, giving the effort? Like I said, showing that heart, showing that grit, diving on the floor for loose balls, hustling, leaving it all out on the court. LeBron James has been able to play for 22 years because he's not leaving it out on the court every single night. That's why you load manage. That's why you haven't made an all-defensive team in over 10 seasons. That's why you haven't won an MVP in over 10 seasons. So when you think about that, it's insane for anyone to say, oh, LeBron James got all this longevity, LeBron James this, LeBron James that. LeBron James himself has failed to imitate champions, to imitate the things that champions do consistently, which made them great. LeBron James has not been consistent as some of the other great champions, right? The Magic Johnsons, the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, the Tim Duncans, right? the Hakeem Olajuwons, the Bill Russells, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars. These players were a lot more consistent in their approach to the game, in their approach with their teammates, right? In their approach for themselves, working on their overall game. We always laugh at LeBron James because he doesn't work on his overall game. And we can clearly see that he's not worked on his overall game. So once again, you're not imitating a champion. You're not imitating the other greats. Because guys like Michael Jordan, guys like Kobe Bryant, they worked on their games, right? Every single practice, these guys worked on their games. Whatever it was, whether it was free throw shooting, making sure that their routine at the free throw line was consistent and precise. I mean, look at LeBron James at the free throw line. He looks so unsure of himself. No confidence from LeBron James at the free throw line. All these years in the NBA, you still haven't developed any confidence in the free throw line? You can't shoot over 80% ever from the free throw line. That's not working on your game. Once again, that's not imitating champions. LeBron James should be shooting a much higher percentage, especially after all of these years. It's gone down. It doesn't make any sense. Once again, since he left Miami and has not worked on his game, everything has gone downhill. LeBron James' jump shot. LeBron James should be easily one of the best mid-range jump shooters in NBA's history. But he's not. Nowhere near that. Because he hasn't worked on that aspect of his game. It's gone downhill. Once again, goes hand in hand with your free throw shooting. You can't shoot free throws. You can't shoot the mid-range. LeBron James' three-point shooting, they allow LeBron James to shoot these shots. I never saw Michael Jordan being allowed to shoot. That's a big difference between a LeBron James and a Michael Jordan and how defenses approach these guys. They're not giving Michael Jordan open jump shots. They're contesting everything that Michael Jordan is trying to do out there on the court. They're double teaming. They're triple teaming. They're fouling him all over the place. They're trying to deny him the basketball. They're trying to run him through screens when he's on defense, right? Trying to beat him up on both sides of the ball. That's what they did to Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan's overall offensive game, it never allowed him to get bogged down or shut down, right? LeBron James has been shut down. He's been bogged down. He's been folded up in pressure situations where he hasn't been able to raise his level of play because he don't have the skills, the ability to do that. Couldn't play all ball in 2011, right? Couldn't figure out how to make his teammates greater all these years. Still hasn't been able to do this. You're not imitating greats. You're not imitating what other greats have done. Getting the most out of their teammates. Once again, sacrificing for their teammates. Sacrificing to win. You know, oftentimes, Wilt Chamberlain gets disrespected a lot. He gets torn down a lot by a lot of the current people. And you see how the media has tried to erase Wilt Chamberlain from history. And I told you guys, when I was growing up, I remember watching TV. Michael Jordan would accomplish some crazy scoring feat. And they would post a screenshot of Michael Jordan and his place in NBA's history and what he just accomplished. And I told you, more often than not, they would have asterisks there. And the asterisk would say, since the NBA-ABA merger. And then they would say Wilt Chamberlain, and they would have, you know, XYZ, whatever Wilt Chamberlain did, that would have surpassed what Michael Jordan did. So what they're doing is they're giving Michael Jordan his props and, you know, celebrating what he did in that moment. But then they're also giving homage and paying respect and acknowledging Wilt Chamberlain. So people do not forget who he was. So you can understand and put things into what guys? Into perspective. They're giving you context here. So Michael Jordan was doing XYZ, but wait, let's not forget about Wilt Chamberlain. Now they don't do those things. Now they just celebrate whatever the current player has done, and they actually omit certain guys from the lists, from the screenshots, right? From the reporting. They just don't put those guys there anymore. This is how they do it. You know, with LeBron James and his 10-digit streak, right? The double-digit scoring streak. Once again, they have to qualify that by saying in the regular season. So they'll, you know, erase Michael Jordan from the record book, so to speak, by saying that LeBron James has the greatest double-digit streak in NBA's history in the regular season. Because they know regular season and postseason combined, it's Michael Jordan. It's not LeBron James, not even close. So they must once again bend reality to try to fit the narrative that they're trying to promote. This is LeBron James, guys. It's the same way with the stats. LeBron James chases stats, so they're trying to create narratives around those very stats. When I told you guys, we didn't know Michael Jordan's statistics. What we knew is what we saw on the TV screen, how he moved, the effort he gave, the intensity that he played with. I told you, it was almost to a point where Michael Jordan was so great and so consistent that when he did miss a shot, You were actually shocked. You were like, oh, Michael Jordan missed. He didn't miss much. It didn't seem like he missed much. That's how consistent he was. And if he missed a shot at the end of a game in a clutch situation, you were really shocked because you felt like he never missed those shots. That's the feeling that Michael Jordan gave the fans out there. That's why whenever Michael Jordan raised up for a last-second shot, people assumed it was going in. They assumed the worst. They were like, oh, man, here we go. There it is. Game's over. People are leaving because you assumed he was going to make it because more often than not, he did make those shots. Now LeBron James more often than not misses those shots. So, yeah, he's made a lot, but he's missed way more, guys. Way more in those moments. He doesn't have the overall game or the confidence to do it. Never imitating greats. Look at how LeBron James has played defense over the last 10 years. Are you imitating what Michael Jordan did? Are you imitating what Tim Duncan did? Are you imitating what someone like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did all those years? Are you imitating what any of these great players did for consecutive amount of years on both sides of the ball? Playing that effort, giving the effort on the defensive end. LeBron James, you're not imitating what the greats do. When we talk about Wilt Chamberlain sacrificing, right? I was just talking to you guys about Wilt Chamberlain, how he's, viewed by certain people. And Wilt Chamberlain actually adapted, molded his game so that he could win, to help his teammates, to help him win, right? So he played more of a Bill Russell style type of game in the second half of his career, right? Versus the first half of his career when he was playing Wilt Chamberlain way, right? Dominating the paint, right? Scoring the basketball, dominating the glass, blocking shots, right? Running the floor, showing the athleticism, right? That's what Wilt Chamberlain was doing. But once again, he wasn't able to win or beat these dominant Celtics teams by himself playing that style of NBA basketball. So over the years, Wilt Chamberlain adapted and adjusted his game. So when you watch him in them later years, like when he won the championship, what was that, 67 when they won the championship? He was like the third or fourth leading scorer on the team in the postseason. Not because he was trash and couldn't score anymore and he was washed up and he was being carried, because he changed his game to play more of a Bill Russell style type game. Less emphasis on scoring the basketball, more emphasis on defense, rebounding, playmaking, right? Passing the ball, helping his teammates. So he figured out, if I help these guys, it's only going to help me. So he was able to do, that's how great he was. Remember, the great players, the burden's on them to adjust and mold their games to help their teammates. Some of these guys can do it, some of them can't. Wilt Chamberlain could, and he did it. LeBron James can't do it. He can't mold and adapt and adjust to his game. So once again, you're not imitating the greats who have sacrificed. Larry Bird sacrificed, right? Magic Johnson sacrificed. You tell me Magic Johnson could have gone out there and tried to score 30 points a night? He definitely damn sure could have. But he didn't play that game. He was a pass-first player, a win-first player, a team-first player, not a me or I first player. So he sacrificed, scoring, let's say, to be that point guard, to win. That's what Magic Johnson did. He sacrificed for his teammates. Right? A lot of players did. Larry Bird did the same thing. Kobe Bryant had to learn how to sacrifice for his teammates. Michael Jordan did this. Tim Duncan was always that way. Right? Tim Duncan wasn't me, look at me. It was, hey, man, look at us, what we're doing. I'm going to sacrifice to make Tony Parker greater, to make Manu Ginobili greater. Not saying that they would not have been great on their own, that they're greater with Tim Duncan because of Tim Duncan. LeBron James, you can't point to anyone. And you're like we've talked about, you can't point to any player in his career and be like, yeah, man, he made that player great. Or he made that player a Hall of Famer. If it wasn't for LeBron James, we wouldn't know who this guy is. No, LeBron James might have gotten some players paid. We talked about that, right? Because he owns his own, free agent company or whatever. So he can get some guys paid. Tristan Thompson got paid, great for him, man. No one cares. Anthony Davis got paid, great for him. No one cares about the money, right? We don't care about the money because Michael Jordan got all those guys paid. Michael Jordan got LeBron James paid. All those guys today are making money because Michael Jordan, his contemporaries, the way that they uplifted the game, the way they pushed the game forward, the way they showed up, right, and played with that love and effort, that's how the game got pushed forward. These guys have ruined that. So don't talk to me about LeBron James because he ain't done a damn thing. So Wilt Chamberlain was able to make adjustments, sacrifice LeBron James. Remember, Dwayne Wade had to sacrifice. He had to make the change. The burden was on him because LeBron James can't do it. Still to this day, the burden's on Luka Doncic. The burden was on Anthony Davis. It's always on everyone else. The burden's on the head coach. It's on the role players, right? They got to take the blame. They got to figure it out. Now LeBron James, man, He's not going to do anything out there. He's not even going to play deep. He's not even going to get back across half court. Not even doing that, guys. That's not imitating greatness. The greats aren't doing that. Bill Russell's not standing on the other side of the court and watching Will Chamberlain run down the court. He's battling with these guys. They're earning it. Bob Pettit, George Mikan, Bob Cousy, all the great players, man, from back in the day. They earned it. LeBron James not imitating greatness, man. Not trying to see and really listen and pay attention to what the greats are saying and what the greats did. Walking off the court early, that's not imitating greatness. Flopping, that's not imitating greatness, man. Right? Always asking for help, never taking accountability, that's not greatness. LeBron James just don't seem to get it, man. And that's why, to me, he'll never be worthy to be mentioned with those guys. Because he did not imitate what those guys did. And those guys showed him the blueprint. All the guys that came before, they showed the blueprint to the guys before them. Now, either you're going to follow that blueprint and then add your own to it, like I mentioned earlier, or you're not. You're going to squander, and you're going to take it for granted, and you're going to cheat the game and then cheat yourself in turn. That's what LeBron James has done. You guys know the deal, man. These are the facts. I'll catch you guys on the next one.